Hello and welcome to the latest installment of My Dad Listens to This. I'm Juliet the daughter.
That must make me Kevin the dad.
It must.
It must.
I would hope so.
Jules, you had a little announcement you wanted to make.
Yeah, so if you didn't see the post that I wrote on YouTube, we took a week off because I was recovering from oral surgery. I had my wisdom teeth out, and basically everything that could go wrong did, but I'm a lot better now, almost done with antibiotics, and most importantly, I can open my mouth a little bit more than I could about a week ago, so I can talk and I can do the episode, and I'm feeling better. So, without further ado, let's get down to business. Today's episode, we're talking about The Last Splash by The Breeders, or I should just say, Last Splash by The Breeders. So, Dad, what do we need to know about this band and this album?
Well, what we need to know is that The Breeders formed in 1988 when Pixies bassist Kim Deal and Throwing Muses guitarist Tanya Donnelly started hanging out when their bands did a joint tour of Europe. The Pixies came out of Boston and the Muses from Newport, Rhode Island.
Oh, wow, local.
Yep. Their first attempt was as an organic dance band, whatever that means.
I have no idea.
Me neither. An year and a half went by before they decided to try something else. Kim became more serious when Pixies lead singer Black Francis, also known as Frank Black, also known as Charles Thompson IV, decided to do a solo tour. Deal figured if he could do stuff outside the band, so could she. Another theory is that Kim felt her role in the Pixies was diminished and there was no real creative output.
Oh.
She wanted to contribute songs to the band and sing as well, but Francis said nope. He said of Kim's songs that the Pixies made pizzas, not cookies.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Well, someday if you pick the Pixies album that I have, we'll get really deep into the Pixies.
Okay.
Because the Pixies and Throwing Muses were on different American labels, Kim and Tanya could not both be principal songwriters, so they focused on Kim's songs. Tanya kept writing songs and eventually used them when she left the Breeders in 91 to form her own band, Betty. They signed to the 4AD label and got $11,000 to record their first album. Kim recruited Josephine Wiggs to play bass. Kim switched to guitar and tried to recruit her sister Kelly to play drums so they would have an all-female lineup, a Bangles from Hell.
Bangles from Hell?
That's what Kim called it. Yep. Kelly could not get time away from her job as a program analyst, so Kim got Britt Walford at the suggestion of producer, engineer Steve Albini.
Oh.
Steve hates being called a producer.
Why?
Even though that's what he does.
Why? In his mind, is there some sort of stigma around the word producer or something?
I don't know, because he's just too precious or something.
Oh, I see.
I don't know. As for the band name, Kim said she and Kelly used it when they performed as teenagers. It's a slang term used by the LGBT community for straight people. Mm-hmm. The Breeders' first album, Pod, came out in May of 1990. It got mostly good reviews. Kurt Cobain would go on to say it was one of his favorite albums ever, and it influenced Nirvana.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
Eventually,
wow.
Kurt would get Steve Albini to produce engineer Nirvana's In Utero album. Kim brought in Kelly as a third guitarist for the band's Safari EP in 1992, even though Kelly had never played guitar before. Tanya had left by this time to form Betty, leaving Kelly to be the sole lead guitarist. Britt Walford left around the same time. In 1993, the Pixies broke up. Black Francis announced the breakup in an interview on BBC Radio, unbeknownst to the other band members.
Oh, no!
Though he did send Kim a fax saying, hey, we're broken up.
Oh, did she never get the fax before you went on TV? Or did she only get the fax afterwards?
She got the fax. Well, this is on radio, BBC Radio.
BBC Radio, okay.
Yeah. This left Kim to concentrate on the Breeders full-time. She recruited Jim McPherson to play drums. So, in effect, this would be the classic Breeders lineup of Kim and Kelly, Josephine Wiggs, and Jim McPherson.
The token guy.
I guess.
Yeah.
Now, Last Splash was recorded from 1990 to 1993, dribs and drabs here and there, and came out August 31st, 1993. It hit number 33 on the Billboard 200 Albums chart and was certified platinum by June 1994.
Really?
Which was probably a lot bigger than any Pixies album.
Huh.
4 singles were released, the 2 biggest being Cannonball and Divine Hammer.
Okay.
They secured a prime spot on the Lollapalooza tour, which is a 4-day music festival in Chicago.
Yeah.
This lineup would play their last show on September 5th, 1994 as part of that tour. In 1995, just as things were going great, Kelly was busted for drugs and went into rehab.
Oh, no.
Kim formed the Amps with McPherson, bassist Louis Lerma, and guitarist Nate Farley. Kelly would go on to form the Kelly Deal 6000 and the Last Hard Men. In 1996, Kim reclaimed the Breeders' name, but basically it was the Amps plus violinist Carrie Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
More albums got released. Some permutation of the Breeders played at the Bronze on the Buffy episode Him.
Really?
Really?
I never knew that.
Yep.
Were they, what did they perform?
I couldn't tell you. You'd have to probably dig up the episode.
You could probably find a clip on YouTube of all the bands.
And in 2012, the Classic lineup reunited for the 20th anniversary of Last Splash. And, of course, a 3-disc box came out for the commemoration of that album.
Which you do not have.
No, I do not have. Do not need.
Do not want. Yeah.
In 2018, the band released All Nerve, and in March 2021, the band released a cover of His Name Is Alive song, The Dirt Eaters, as part of a forthcoming 4AD covers compilation.
Huh.
As for me, I've always liked the songs Cannonball and Divine Hammer, and I picked up the disc at a Barrington Library sale for $1. I mean, you can't pass up a deal like that.
For $1, yeah.
Yeah, CD for $1? Why not? Like, hey, I like 2 songs, I'll probably like the best. Let's find out if I like the best and what you thought of the songs.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's dive into this.
All right, so first, New Year. I can already tell I would have liked this band when I was a freshman in high school, when I was going through the phase. I would have said the music and lyrics spoke to me in a way only I can understand. Now I listen to this and think, that sounds like a truck backing up. Because can't you hear it in the background at one point? You hear the beep, beep,
Yeah, kind
beep.
of, yeah.
I feel like this is the band making a sort of mission statement and being vague about that mission on purpose, like only the true fans will understand. But all I hear are people trying to sound poetic and deep and not really succeeding. Being vague doesn't necessarily mean you're a genius. It just means you need to convey your message better.
Interesting. Well, the way it starts off, you wouldn't swear because you have no idea about this stuff. But
Me?
Yeah, you.
Okay.
Or maybe the listeners out there, you'd swear it was Lush or some other shoegazer band.
Oh, okay, the band.
Yeah. Now, do you know what a shoegazer band is?
No.
Okay, shoegazer bands always had their heads down when they played because they were using a lot of effects pedals, so they needed to see where their feet were going.
Oh, where their feet were going,
So
yeah.
they didn't have much contact with the audience.
So kind of like a harp player with all the pedals on the harp. They need to keep their feet down so they can...
Yeah.
Or like an organist or something,
Thus,
yeah.
in effect, it was like, hey, they're just all looking at their
Their feet,
shoes.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Get a nice view of their scalp.
But then Kim sings the line, it's true, and things kick into gear. Almost like the Pixies, one could say. And I think I just did. Kim sings she's the way, the new year, the sun. She is the shit, and we must follow her.
Must we?
Through the rest of this album anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Great opening number.
Okay. Next track, Cannonball. Those vocal distortions and opening guitars sound like they're trying to say, Aruga!
They are!
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, I thought they were either doing that or trying to howl like a wolf. The instruments are my favorite components of the song, especially when they stop singing and they just focus on the sound of chords being strummed. As for the lyrics, you kind of get the gist this time. You're crazy and baby, I want you. The cleverest lyric is, I'll be the bong in this reggae song. Innuendo at its finest. But it got me wondering, what parts of this song could be considered as having a reggae influence? I can't hear it if it's there, but if there's something I'm missing, please inform me, fellow listeners, because I'm lost. Or maybe there isn't anything in there.
No, there's no reggae in
Okay.
there. Unless I haven't been paying attention closely.
Man.
And I'm sure the listeners out there will inform me. Okay. Boy, when this song came out, there was no escaping it on WBRU.
Really?
Or on MTV.
Oh.
Why? Because it's catchy, it rocks, and the words are easy to remember. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep, that.
It just reminds me of SSS Bob at work because he does that every once in a while and he goes, dive, dive, like it's a diving sub. I don't know. That's just his thing. That's what he does.
Oh, Bob.
I know.
Should we not call him SS Bob because SS sounds like a Nazi?
No, SSS.
SSS, sorry.
He has 3 S's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi,
So
Bob.
maybe we should
I don't
be
think he
even
was...
more scared of him since he has 3 S's instead of 2.
I don't think Bob listens to this anyway.
No, I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
No.
Josephine Wiggs' memorable bass line kicks in, and then Kelly, because I'm assuming it's Kelly, because she was tapped to play lead, right? Comes up with a minimalist guitar riff that to me is both annoying and yet catchy. I don't know. There's just something about it that drives me nuts, but it's like I can't stop listening to it. And Kim's got it bad. Like, I'll be whatever you want. Like you said, the bong in this reggae song. Even though he's cuckoo, but also a cannonball, which it's like he's explosive or he just, like a cannonball, when you jump in the pool, everyone's going to get wet. Basically, you've kind of like...
cleared the runway.
Or touched everyone with your water. Yeah, that sounds
That
bad.
sounds wrong.
That sounds wrong on someone else.
Moving right past that.
Anyway, if you ever get a chance, catch the video because it's not exactly a cannonball, but I think it's a bowling ball or maybe some type of ball. It's supposed to be a cannonball. That's just rolling down the street, rolling through these various parts of town, interchanging with clips of the band playing the song.
Why couldn't they have a cannonball in there, or at least like a digital cannonball for special effects and music videos? Not that good.
This was 1993.
Okay, so they wouldn't have been able to do that. Okay, anyway, Invisible Man. So my first thought was, imagine if this song was inspired by the Claude Rains movie. That would have been cool. However, this guy isn't really invisible. It's more the story of a guy who's there 1 minute and gone the next, so you can't see him. I don't know if using the Invisible Man is the best for that kind of story. Because if we're going based on the movie, he did leave destruction in his wake and no one could see him. But I think this song is more about emotional destruction. And in the movie, at least, the Invisible Man embodied the I hate everyone except you trope with Flora. Although in the book, he was apparently really friggin' evil. I remember I read The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, he was just nuts.
Yeah, and I was what, 14 or 15? I think I was too young to read it because there's one scene in particular that happens that I'm not going to mention because it's triggering material, but I was like, ooh! It was with the Invisible Man, and I was like...
Oh, jeez, yes.
Yeah, I was too young to read that. Anyway, I think a more appropriate title might be The Roadrunner or The Flash. For Now You See Him, Now You Don't kind of character. Well, Bo Diddley already has the Roadrunner one, so needs a rewrite, but keep the chimes at the end because that captures a sense of mystery hanging in the air like, ooh, where'd he go?
Okay, I kind of approached this from a completely different angle.
All right, what
the Invisible Man could be. I kind of looked at this song as an ode to female self-discovery.
Oh, alone time?
Alone time, because hear me out.
Oh, okay.
You're nowhere in sight. Just imagine that.
Oh, it's in your head.
Open your eyes, look, and you will find that's all that's left behind. The skies, because she's lying down looking up, and a sweet caress. Self-explanatory.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah, he's the Invisible Man because he's in Kim's imagination. And the way this song and Kim sound, just like kind of relaxed and dreamy.
Spaced out.
Like she just...
is in a daze.
Finished and decided to sing about it. and if that's not what this song is about, I have no idea.
Hey, but I might be right. I don't know.
I think it captures the mood perfectly.
Okay.
I really like this song.
Next track, No Aloha.
No Aloha for you.
I wonder if this was based on a real story at all. Maybe this happened while the band was on tour in Hawaii or something. But a rock promoter? Ouch. Yet the singer doesn't sound too distraught. It almost reminds me of when we covered The Airport Giveth, The Airport Taketh Away, because it's part of the rock and roll lifestyle. You meet someone on tour and then never see them again. But this one seems to sting just a touch more because maybe she caught feelings. And even though she says, guess I'll die, there's no sincerity behind those words, no sorrow. It's more of an offhanded compliment like, oh, I guess I'll just piss off. The motherhood lyric is the only part that confuses me. Maybe she's got pregnant or she's feeling like she's getting older and less desirable. Who's to say?
So, so most of this song is Kim on a guitar. And Kelly, I'm assuming it's Kelly, doing her best imitation of a Hawaiian slide because, no aloha. I think it's about Kim not saying goodbye or saying aloha to her rock and roll life. She was married briefly in the 80s for about 3 years, but not long enough to become a mom. And motherhood means mental freeze. Like, she has no regrets. Like, if she became a mom...
it wouldn't have been good for her.
Yeah, she probably wouldn't be able to have the rock and roll lifestyle that she has and still has.
It kind of reminds me of this video I saw on TikTok where it's like, boomer, why don't you want to have kids? And they go, oh, well, 1, I can't afford it. 2, I am not emotionally stable enough to be a parent. And 3, I don't want to bring my kid into a world of suffering. And then the boomer goes, okay, but I want you to have a kid. It's like, no, you're missing the point. Anyway.
And I think she has no regrets about the life that she's chosen. And to emphasize that, the band kicks in near the end. Mm-hmm. And Kim's just going to be rocking. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and good night.
Again, enough 4 songs in a row that I really like. Mm-hmm. Until...
Wow. Okay, so my first thought was, are we getting a song all in French or just a French title? And it's just a French title for an instrumental. Now, here's my thought process behind this. We're going to go down my mental pathway that I took with this.
Let's go.
If you're going to name an instrumental "Roi," which is French for king, right? Mm-hmm. I want something that feels stately. Something that would be played at a procession, or at least has a sense of formality. And when I hear "Roi," again, king, I think of the French kings from the House of Bourbon. The house where all the Louis were from, and the house that reigned until the French Revolution and the Reign of Terror. So my brain expects to hear something sounding like classical music, since that's the music that was around at the time. And I knew that probably wasn't going to happen on this album, but that's the train of thought my brain went down. So I don't know if this instrumental is connected to the title of the song at all, but if it's supposed to convey the heaviness of being a monarch and how the weight of that title eats away at your soul until you're hollow because monarchy is an institution that damages everyone in it, then they nailed it.
Interesting approach. Now I'm going to have to ask you, did you read the lyric to this instrumental?
There was only one lyric.
Line.
All right, let me Google it. Oh, wait, did you write it down?
I have it right in front of me.
Okay, what is it?
The one line, it's mostly instrumental, but there's just that one line, raw, R-A-W.
Yeah.
Where the shot leaves me gagging for the arrow.
Maybe it's supposed to refer to assassination of kings.
I
mean, in France they got the guillotine, but...
I've got some dirty theories about that line, but I'll just kind of leave that.
Okay.
Anyway, for me, this song is a trudge. The drum pattern kind of makes up for it, though, I guess. If they play this in concert, this would be the part where you'd hit the bathroom or check out the merch.
Exactly.
Or check out your watch as in, how long have they been playing this?
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a reason that it's spelled like the French word for king rather than R-A-W.
Yeah.
But you got me.
Mm-hmm. All right, next track. Do You Love Me Now?
Well,
Question mark.
Do you?
Do you? All right, so this doesn't sound like a breakup song. This sounds like a song written about the moment a person realizes that their relationship is over or about to end. Only they don't want it to be over, so they're making one last-ditch attempt to stay with the person even though both their hearts aren't in it anymore. The only way that this person can be sure that it's over is if they ask the partner to do something, or rather order them, based on the vibe of the song I'm getting, and the other person doesn't respond. And the way the song ends with the guitar hanging on the air, you don't know how the partner responds. It seems as if the song is suspended in time. It kind of reminds me of how Amenadiel, a.k.a. Principal Wood from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, would stop time on the show Lucifer. And what would happen was Amenadiel and whoever else was in his presence would be in this sort of separate pocket of time while everything else around them was paused. So to me, it feels like these two people are in that space where time has stopped for them, but what happens there is for them to know and them alone.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I think this could be about Kim's ex, John Murphy.
Oh.
And because it's got the lines, does love ever end when two hearts are torn away, or does it go on and beat strong anyway? And to me, I think that depends on the people involved, I guess. I mean, sometimes you're glad to be rid of that other person. It's like you just dodged a bullet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And other times it probably has you feeling that way of like, is there always going to be something there?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, this is just a sad, slow song, and yet catchy, too. I mean, this is another one that I really, really like.
Wow, okay. I haven't liked a lot on this album so far. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but none of them have grabbed me like, whoa, this is the best thing ever. Let's see if that changes. Spoiler alert, maybe not. All right, so, flip side. If this song is supposed to be the flip side of the previous track, then it works. I don't think it's jubilation, though. It's more of, you're leaving me? Fine, but there's some things you need to know. And then the floodgates open as this person lets rip everything that they've been holding back. It sounds almost like smackdown music, but it's nowhere near as percussive or explosive. It's more like confrontation music, or just music whenever something chaotic is happening. And What the hell did I type? Oh, I misspelled, my bad. And chaos is bound to occur if everything is being let loose all at once. And maybe it's a good thing we can't see or hear it either.
Well, for me, this song, basically, it's grunge meets surf rock instrumental.
That's
and
interesting.
You just mushed them together.
Is it a good combination?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty catchy.
Okay.
I don't know if I could listen to grunge meets surf rock all the time.
Maybe there's a band out there that does that.
I hope not. But this is more than enough.
Okay. Next track. I Just Want to Get Along. Okay. Are you ready, kids? Cursed concept time.
What concept?
Cursed.
Cursed?
I have a cursed idea.
Okay, go ahead.
Remember Scrooge's fiancée in A Christmas Carol and how she broke off their engagement because he became miserly and cold?
What was her name?
I think it was Belle.
Yes, Belle.
Okay, imagine if someone made a rock musical and she sang this song. Can you see it?
I could see that.
Okay, because I read those lyrics and I was like, oh no, but maybe. Okay, God, the things my brain comes up with. Anyway, this song I think is the perfect description of what's going on inside the mind of spouses of politicians or billionaires. Like when they met before, the other person was powerful or wealthy, but as the person became more powerful and or rich, their spouse didn't recognize them anymore. And when the spouse says, I just want to get along, you can feel the venom in that phrase. It's unsettling, and hopefully it's unsettling for the person hearing those words. Moral of the story, eat the rich and we won't have this problem. Case closed.
For me, I look at this as like a short, sharp song about Kim and Black Francis, also known as Frank Black.
Oh, they were together?
Also known as Charles Michael Kittredge Thompson IV. They were bandmates in the Pixies.
Oh, I thought she meant like they were like an item for a little bit.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, once and future Pixies bandmates because, yes, they had the inevitable reunion and did the tour and all that. Mm-hmm. But Kim has Kelly sing the lead. Maybe that way Kim could say, why, no, Frank, this isn't about you at all.
Yeah.
Best line, if you're so special, why aren't you dead? Because, all great rockers die young. I mean, there was that 27 Club theory that Jimmy, Janis, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, other rockers died at 27.
Yeah, but Buddy died earlier.
I've always found that to be a BS theory.
Yeah.
To me, it's just coincidence because Buddy Holly was 22.
Yep.
I mean, was God just practicing back in 1959?
Oh, don't say that.
Nah, I'll just tack on 5 more years and then we get something going, right?
No.
But anyway, get this. Here's the thing.
Yes.
The album Last Splash came out in 1993.
The year.
So I looked up the year Black Francis, Frank Black, Charles Michael Kittredge Thompson IV was born. 1965. So he was 28. So he missed immortality.
By a year.
By 1 year. So he's 56 now.
Wow, so she really is rubbing it in. Ouch.
But she goes, no, this isn't about you at all.
Sure. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Say no more, say no more.
But I just like the way Kelly just sings, I just want to get along. I just want to get along.
Exactly.
I just
want to get along.
I just want to get along.
Spock.
Yeah, kind of like that. It's kind of like, does she mean it or is she just saying it to say it? Like it's just lip service.
Maybe it's lip service at this point. Next track, Mad Lucas. The tone of the music fits the title because it doesn't sound like a person who's mentally all there.
No, they weren't.
No, it's as if someone opened up their brain and we could hear what's inside. But it sounds as if we're listening to a person's thoughts when they're at the most peaceful moment they can possibly have. The music also sounds like something I'd hear on one of those lo-fi hip-hop live streams I'd listen to while studying for exams in college. Just a bit of white noise to have on in the background to keep your brain from wandering. Because that's all this sounds like, white noise in someone's brain. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Doing some research, found out there really was a Mad Lucas.
Oh.
A.K.A. James Lucas, who lived from 1813 to 1874. He was the hermit of Redcoats, Green, Hertfordshire. He was a bit of an eccentric, but his mother's death in 1849 was too much. He just went off the deep end. He became a recluse and barricaded himself in his home, living solely in his kitchen, sleeping on a bed of ashes and soot.
Ooh.
But
he
would talk to neighbors and mostly neighborhood children. He would just come to the window and just have conversations. He died of a stroke in 1874, and a big amount of money was found in his living room.
Oh,
yeah,
family fortune?
He was loaded, yep. And after his death, 17 cartloads of dirt and ashes were removed from the house.
Oh,
yeah.
ew.
But would he have liked this song?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But,
Well, but
I do. It's kind of dreamy, and it's kind of contrast to its subject. Very slow tempo, distorted vocals, but it all works. And Kim's just kind of singing probably what everyone should have told the guy, just clean it up and,
yeah,
tidy up the place. Let's go.
At the same time, he sounds like one of those people who maybe isn't mentally all there, but at the same time, they're not harmful. They're not harming anybody.
No.
They're just a little bit, off kilter.
Puffs?
Off kilter. Yeah. All right, next track, Divine Hammer. This song is very Hot Toddies-ish, because I think they're making an innuendo while also sounding as innocent as possible. But this song is a prototype for what the Hot Toddies have become. The Hot Toddies themselves nailed this kind of storytelling and musical tone years later, so I think if I wanted to listen to something similar, I'd put on Smell the Mitten. I have to say, though, calling it a Divine Hammer is pretty original. Don't know if I'd ever say that myself, but it's a very interesting way of putting it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at it this two ways. It's either about religion or sex.
Yeah, maybe both.
Well, the video makes it seem like the former, with Kim dressed up as both the flying nun, which is hilarious. You got to
Like
see
the
the video.
Sally Fields flying nun?
Yes.
With the hat?
Yes, the whole, and it looks like, she's flying through the neighborhood. You ever get a chance to check out the video? It's hilarious.
God.
But she's also dressed up as either a choir member dressed up in a red robe or some sort of religious leader, or dare I say it, yep, Satan. Because, she's got her hair in, these two...
Horns?
Pigtails, but it's got, these two, knots, red knots, that kind of stick up a little bit.
Okay.
That don't exactly look like horns, but they could be.
It's ambiguous?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Kim's been quoted as saying that it's about her questioning her religious upbringing and, looking for something that she just was not going to find. And as I was doing more research on the concept of the Divine Hammer, who do I come across but Michelangelo? He referred to it as looking for a divine hammer that would guide his hand in making human semblance from hard stone. Well, and you know what?
He did it.
It worked for him, so
David's
I guess he
still
found
up.
it.
Yeah.
Then there's the sex angle of, you're the rod, the divining rod, I'm water.
Yeah.
Yay, I struck water. Oh, that's not water. Oh, that's definitely not water.
Oh, God.
And yes, I did think of Thor's hammer.
Yep.
Because you kind of get the, the divine hammer.
Mjolnir.
Hammer of Thor, and we got the
other hammer
Norse,
of
the
Thor.
Norse gods. That's kind of religious, mythological.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Catchy song. I never ever get tired of hearing it. I could just play it over and over and over.
Nice. Okay. SOS. I get why this instrumental is called SOS, because you can picture bombs dropping since they have music echoing the wails of sirens, and you can picture people running as well. Yet for a piece called SOS, it doesn't sound that panicked or chaotic. But it doesn't feel that restrained either. It's almost as if they took a more hard rock instrumental or metal instrumental and adopted for an alternative or indie genre. That doesn't mean I hate it. I just find it fascinating how it wasn't all up in my face, but still managed to work and convey the meaning of the title. Still, I'd rather listen to Message in a Bottle by the Police if I wanted a song with the phrase SOS in it.
Or how about SOS by ABBA?
I forgot they had a song called SOS.
They do.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Now, I think the noise that starts off the song is Kelly's sewing machine that was mic'd through an amp.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so she played the sewing machine as well.
Huh.
I mean, other than that, there's nothing really outstanding about this instrumental. Nothing really memorable for me. But the band The Prodigy sampled the guitar riff on this song for their biggest hit, Firestarter. And Kim got a songwriting credit and made out really well with the royalties.
Oh, good for her.
Yep.
Laughing on the way to the bank.
Yep, pretty much. I mean, she did a lot better outside the Pixies than inside with the Pixies, which I'm sure must have galled Frank Black Francis, Charles Michael Kittredge Thompson IV to no end.
I'm thinking of that.
What? People want cookies? They don't want pizzas? What?
I'm thinking of that Lucille Bluth meme. Good for her. Oh, okay, so next track, Hag. So I've never done this before. Well, maybe once, but I don't remember it. I Googled the lyrics for this song, then I Googled the meaning, and I went on songmeanings.com to see if I could find some background as to what this song was about. Basically, it kind of reminded me of Reddit where someone posts, hey, what does this mean? And other people comment their theories. So there were two theories I found. This song is told from the point of view of a misogynist, or it's the songwriter being self-deprecating. When I first read the lyrics, I personally thought it was one woman shaming another woman, or possibly internalized misogyny that can occur when women don't see themselves as matching up to society's beauty standards. Either way, I think it's supposed to make the listener uncomfortable. Like, why are we calling this woman a hag? Screw you, go do something else with your life, you sad loser.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Stop calling women names, it's not nice.
Well, first off, I think it has an interesting drum pattern. It sounds almost military. And I think this song works on two levels. Kim could be singing about herself, because I remember reading a book of rock quotes years ago, and she said something to the effect that she knows that she looks like a hag sometimes, unwashed hair, dirty appearance, but you know what? Fuck you. Mm-hmm. Fuck you right in half. Mm-hmm. She's like, this is the way I look, and I just don't care.
I've never heard fuck you right in half before.
Oh, okay.
New phrase for the day. Sesame Street is brought to you by the phrase...
Fuck you, right in half.
God.
Oh, I should have done it as Ernie. Anyway, yeah, that just kind of always stuck with me. I just remember that quote for some reason. I thought, that's pretty interesting. She was like, this is who I am, and if you don't like it, that's just too bad.
Yeah, I want to be a witch living out in the woods.
I think she could also be singing about a guy, because she has that line, you're just like a woman, almost like an insult.
Like she's calling him a sissy?
No, I wish I knew. Like, it's weird. It's like, sometimes he's on again. He's everything right. Other times, hag. I don't know. Maybe she's trying to use that as like an insult. Like, oh, you're just like a woman.
Yeah, like in Hamlet Frailty, that name is woman.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe calling him weak or like cowardly. I don't
interesting.
know.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, have you ever heard, oh, you're just like a man. Yeah, I've probably heard. Has anyone ever said that to a woman? Like, oh, you're just like a man.
I haven't heard it, but, you know, probably, maybe, I don't know. Maybe if they did something, like, not cool.
I really like the overall sound of this song. I do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next track, Saints. I guess this song is about how everybody loves summer, or how maybe summer is the time of year when everyone comes out to play and someone is observing those people who do come out to play.
Yeah.
I could see this sort of being a summertime bop, but it's not like Summertime by Gershwin, or In the Summertime by the Kinks, or that other summertime song they used to play on PBS Kids every year. It's summertime, summertime.
Oh, that's the Jamies. I got that song.
Yeah. I think the reason this one doesn't work is the singer is kind of looking down on everyone having a good time, like, what a bunch of posers, what a bunch of idiots. And I'm listening to them thinking, well, if you're just going to shit on us, then beat it. I'm just trying to enjoy this nice weather. Like, I just picture myself with some chowder and bombs from Blount just out on the waterfront enjoying the carousel and going, do you mind?
Huh, interesting, because, I mean, I think she's into it just as much as everyone else.
I didn't get that vibe.
Well, I did. It's like, it's summer. It's time to go to the fair. Suey and Saints. Everyone goes. The hot callers, Suey! And the Saints, those who are not hot callers. But basically, it's like everyone shows up at the fair. I mean, she has that line about, I like sticky everywhere. The heat, the cotton candy, other sticky food that you just cannot
get off your
hands no matter how much you wash and shake them. But it's just like, I think she's having just as much fun as everyone else. And I'm really surprised that this was not a bigger college radio hit, because it was released as a single, but I just do not recall hearing it on BRU. Now, this is going to sound like an ad, but it's not. The closest we have to a fair around here is the Big E in Springfield, Mass. The E stands for Exposition, and it's the world's only multi-state fair, representing all 6 New England states.
Oh, I never knew we had that.
And the 6 New England states are?
Maine.
Yep.
New Hampshire.
Yep.
Vermont.
Yep.
Massachusetts.
Yep.
Connecticut, and Rhode Island.
Yes, you are definitely from New England.
Yep.
And it's actually coming back this year, the end of summer, though, as usual, from September 17th to October 3rd. You can get a 17-day pass for $40. That's
not bad.
A deal. That's cheap. That's better than, like, Disney World.
So, hold on. So, $40 divided by 17 days. That's $2.35 a day.
You can't beat that.
Can't beat that.
Now, I went there once ages ago when Uncle Joey was still working at Roger Williams Zoo.
Oh, that was forever ago.
And he had connections. I mean, he knew everyone. And I guess someone at the zoo could get free passes, so he got a boatload of free passes, and I went, and tons of fun. And the only thing I can remember is Robinson's Racing Pigs. They had these pigs that would race, and you would bet which one you thought would win. But there was like shows going on, the bad food everywhere, and they have 6 what they call state houses. Mm-hmm. Like you go in these big, basically houses, and it's just all this stuff that's comes from that state, like what they're known for. Like us, it was like core hogs and Johnny cakes and lots of other things. Mm-hmm. Obviously, with Vermont, it was syrup and whatever. And then, like, there would be certain days that, you know, today at the Big E, it's Rhode Island Day. So they would just, like, make a big deal of that state.
You think you're going to go this year?
Yeah, probably not.
Wow!
Well, no. It's like I would probably go by myself. I don't think I could ever see talking your mom into going to this.
She doesn't like King Richard's Fair, so...
Yeah, she would probably... Well... Yeah, she probably wouldn't groove on this either, I think. It's not exactly a Renaissance thing, and you don't have to watch the little things going on. You can just, you know, walk the fairway and, you know, get the corn dogs and other food that's not good for you. But anyway, I love this song. I thought it was catchy. I loved it.
Okay. Next track, Driving on 9. This was the song I came the closest to really liking. And I mean that in a bad way, but none of these songs grab me as like, wow. Okay, so this song kind of sounds like something that would be played as you drive home after spending time with your long-distance partner. And it's bittersweet because on one hand, you get to see them, but on the other hand, it's over and you don't know when you'll see them again. I really love the music in this one with the strings and maybe with the banjo. I think I heard it in there because the instruments really capture the bittersweet tone of the song. And again, it does feel like a song you'd play in the car or at least a song in the background if this was a scene in a movie. Not exactly happy, but more of a song when you're making peace with the fact that it's over for now, but we will see each other again, and all I can do right now is drive home.
Mm-hmm. This is a cover of a song by a Boston band called Ed's Redeeming Qualities. Now, how alt-rock can you get?
Yeah.
And they were more of a folk band or anti-folk, which was like not taking the genre seriously. Mm-hmm. And since they're from Boston, Route 9 could be Mass Route 9, which goes from Boston to the Berkshires.
Oh, that one.
But there is a US 9 that goes from Delaware to Champlain, New York, just on the verge of the Canadian border. But then there's also a Route 9 in California, and there's Route 9s everywhere. So just pick one. It could be it could be one of them, could be none of them. It just sounds cool as opposed to driving on 8, driving on 7,
driving on 9,
6. You kind of get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a country-tinged tune was the last thing people would have expected from the Breeders.
But it works.
It does. But some of the words were changed because originally, not originally, but Kim singing "Looking Out My Windowsill, Wondering If I Want You Still, Wondering What's Mine" was originally "Looking Out My Windowsill, Wondering If You Took Your Pill, Wondering If It's Mine," because a guy originally wrote it. And there's that thing like when Kim's singing it, it's kind of like, yeah, there was someone that I love, but now I think I got pregnant by this other guy, and I'm really not sure if I want to spend the rest of my life with him, because there's the line about Daddy having a shotgun and he probably doesn't need one, and it's overall for me it's a sweet and sad song.
Okay, final track. Wow, reprise. See, why do we need a reprise? This isn't me being smart. This is a genuine question. And why put one in there if it's less than a minute long? I really don't think we need this. And Driving on 9 would have been a perfect place to end the album because it leaves a pleasant feeling in its wake. I feel like this is them trying to remind us that they're an alternative band who tries to be different. But on the other hand, ending with a sort of pleasant song that breaks from the tone of the album would have been something different too. I think someone should have scrapped this or at least tacked it onto the previous wah track and made it a few seconds longer so that way the flow of this album isn't interrupted and there's no jarring halt.
You are not alone in your opinion.
Oh, good.
Believe me, there are lots of people who think the album should have ended with Driving on 9.
Oh, good.
I agree with them. I mean, there's no real reason to have a 42-second reprise. And so Last Splash ends with a clunk.
Clunk.
Which I wonder if that was intentional. Like the last splash is like...
It doesn't end with a cannonball. It ends with a belly flop where your stomach hurts after.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was just... You know, it kind of harkened back to how people are pissed that Heroes ends with Secret Life of Arabia, where it's like, wait a minute. the mood has been broken.
Yeah.
But there are also people who think, no, this is the perfect way to end it.
I didn't mind Secret Life of Arabia, though.
Me neither.
Nope.
Me neither. But yeah, this was just not a wise move on someone's part.
No. Should have been scrapped by that producer. Engineer.
Mm.
All right.
See, that's the producer's job, is to step in and say, I don't think this is a good idea. You really might want to rethink this.
Maybe that's why they're not a producer. They're just an engineer.
They just follow themselves.
Or no balls.
Could be. Yeah, because you don't mess with Kim. She will knock you out.
And take your balls.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Overall, this album, it's okay. Again, I think I would have liked this more as a teenager, but now that I'm in my 20s, this album has me feeling a bit put out. I feel like they're trying to be vague, to try to be clever, but how clever can you be if you're just confusing your audience? They won't think you're clever, they'll just feel that you're making them feel stupid. So if you enjoy this album, then good on you, but it's one I shan't be revisiting. I bear the musicians no ill will. There's just other stuff out there that grabs my attention more.
You know what? Overall, I like this album a lot.
Wow,
I felt like I was rediscovering it and listening to it this closely. I just got a new appreciation for it.
All right.
The only turtlings in the punch bowl, of course, are both versions of Wah.
Yeah.
Roy.
Rui,
as we say in Portuguese.
yeah.
But yeah, I really like this album. Like I said, I felt like I just rediscovered it, and I'll be listening to it a lot more. Skipping over Roy, and
Let's just call it Roy out of spite.
how about Eeyore, which is sort of like Roy backwards.
Oh, I guess.
Why order? Anyway, folks, if you only need one Breeders album, this is the one. Anything that came before or after is just extra. All the goods are on this one. So
take his word for it on this, not mine.
I wonder if it's because, like, I'm from another generation. I'm an old fart or an older fart. Let's see.
I don't know.
1993, I was 30 years old. I don't know. Maybe I was even too old for it back then, but I really like this album.
All right, well, listeners, if you ever listen to this album, let us know what you think. All right, as always, thank you for listening to the latest installment of My Dad Listens to This. Like, comment, and subscribe, and all that jazz. If you follow me on social media, I post the episodes there. And if you're friends with my dad, he can email the episodes right to your inbox. Again, thank you as always for listening to the latest installment of My Dad Listens to This. We'll be back next time with another album to nitpick and gripe about. Dad, anything you want to say before we log off for the evening?
Ow! Ow! Dive!